Have I stepped into a parallel fucking universe or something?
Well, Evu Mux, well, you tricky
bitch.
Dude, I have it set up on a natural transition. Like it just does it automatically. And then all of a sudden it was like, you know what? Play it back.
Nah.
We're gonna USO this shit. Hey fans, welcome. Sorry for the old USO attempt there. But we are here. It's a Tuesday, Monday Night Raw review show with me and Kevin Kalloway. He is the Chaos Goblin. He is also, well, he's the professor. He's the professional. He's the guy who's been in the ring doing it.
Professor Chaos.
Oh, you're speaking to my heart, man. My favorite South Park character. But we're here. We're ready to discuss Monday Night Raw. But before we do that, Kevin, how have you been, my friend? How's it going? And what have you gotten into in this past week?
Well, with the release of a Resident Evil game, I have been playing Resident Evil 9. And the reviews are not hyperbolic. This is one of the better Resident Evil games, I think, in the entire franchise.
Interesting.
It's really cool. You play as two different characters. They brought Leon back from Resident Evil 4, and there's a new character called Grace. And what's really unique about this game is that you can play both of them as either first person or third person, and you can change it whenever you want. So they recommend you play Grace's sections in first person because they're a bit scarier, they're a bit spookier, and they make you manage more things. Whereas they say Leon's section, you should play third person because you're running around as a fucking tank, basically killing zombies like 30 at a time.
I like that. The more zombies dead, the better.
Yeah, so like you'll do these sections where like you're trying to stop an entity from killing you and something else as Grace, and then Leon's section will hit the bloodstream for like 20 to 30 minutes, give you that crack cocaine action, and then they'll bring you back to the horror. And it's a really cool dichotomy of a game, and I won't give any spoilers on anything with the plot, but it's been really cool with different enemy types and everything. Like it's legitimately, it's one of the best Resident Evil games I've ever played.
Beautiful. So you would recommend?
Heavily. If you like Resident Evil games, you're going to like this game. Because even if you don't like the newer games that are all first person, you could play it in third person. And if you do like the new games and prefer the first person, you could play it in first person. So like,
I gotta love that.
There's a way to go about it for everybody. And I just really enjoy when creators do something like that. And everything with the story has been a lot of, I haven't gotten through all of it, but I've gotten through quite a bit. And everything with the story is a lot of like, who's it, what's it, like kind of not really who done it, but like what the fuck is going on until they finally tell you. And you're like, oh God, of course. Yeah, basically.
Awesome, Kevin. Well, I love to hear it. I love hearing the updates on it because we know you're a fan of the old Resident Evil franchise, which most of us are. So it's cool that we got that insight to somebody who actually has the game and is going through it. You know, we don't have to go to the forums and see what and who is saying what.
It's never like, you're never sure if reviews are going to be actually accurate for you. I'm always that way because like I'll buy the next Dynasty Warriors game no matter what, and I know I'm going to enjoy it. But like reviewers hate Dynasty Warriors because it's the same stuff over and over again. But that's all I want.
Yeah.
So when you get a review like that, you're always curious of like, is it a good game? Is it a bad game? Am I going to like it anyway? Just get the game. Just get this one.
There
Don't
we
listen
go.
to any reviews. Don't be a hater. Just like get the game.
Well, our old Philadelphia brother, he's chiming in saying Resident Evil 9 is a masterpiece.
He is
So you
not
got somebody else in your corner there, Kevin, for the Resident Evil franchise. I like it. Yeah, keep us updated on that. And you know what? If next week comes around and you have to drop some spoilers, do it. Just crush their
I have a
dreams.
2 to 3 week rule with spoilers.
Well,
I have a 2 to 3. It's by the time 3 weeks rolls around, if you really wanted to see or play it, you would have done it. I can't stress that enough. And obviously, the internet waits for no person, but
No,
I
it
do
doesn't.
because I'm courteous.
Man, look at him. He's being nice to you out there. If I would have got the game, I would have told you right off the bat. I would have probably streamed some of it too, just letting them
Yeah,
know.
there you go.
That's what it does. But we're here. We're ready to talk some Monday Night Raw, what we do every Tuesday night. And Kevin, this Monday Night Raw, it's WrestleMania season, my brother, and I am pumped for this one. It was a great Monday Night Raw. A lot of promos that were hitting, a lot of action that was taken.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait to get into it. So Kevin, let's not delay anymore, and let's talk about the opening of Raw. Kevin, why don't you take it away, because I like the way you think.
Sure. And I was really surprised they did some of the stuff they did with the opening. So I loved the opening because it was the Vision coming out and they were trying to hold up the show again. And it has become somewhat of a reoccurring theme of when the Vision is upset, they will go out to the ring and they will go, fuck you all. You have to listen to us. No show without listening to us.
Shut the show down.
We're shutting the show down. And I don't hate that strategy. I think maybe it got overused in this episode. I think with Rusev's thing, which we'll get to in a little bit, it was smaller, but it was the same basic thing. I would have liked to see something a little different. But with this one, I thought it was good because we keep having this masked man gimmick be a gimmick. And it's still kind of happening. But the way that they're utilizing it, I think, is slightly different in the fact that they're using it as a decoy now. They're not using it as, hey, this is just one guy. It's very clearly one guy orchestrating it, but it's multiple people. And Vision comes out. They're complaining and moaning because of Seth Rollins and things like that. So then we have Pierce come out with his security, and we got one masked man come out. Security chases the one guy. Then we got another masked man comes out. Logan Paul chases that guy. Then we got another masked guy comes out. Theory chases that guy until finally Paul Heyman is left alone in the ring. And lo and behold, who was under the ring the whole time? Mr. Seth Rollins. And this is the part that shocked me. Usually in these kinds of scenarios, you're trying to think of, all right, who needs the comeuppance? Can we save the comeuppance for pay-per-view or right before pay-per-view, depending on how you're going to run the thing? No. Paul Heyman got his comeuppance already.
Yeah, he did.
There is really nothing else to take from Paul Heyman after you've stomped his head into the mat.
Very true.
So my curiosity now is where they're going to go with this, because I think it was masterfully done. I liked how they used it as a lot of decoys and a lot of smoke screens and a lot of different things for the masked man angle, because the masked man has become kind of a meme when it comes to the WWE, because they've used it with so many people. They've overused it.
Way too much.
But now they're almost leaning into the overuse of it by overusing it in a segment to the point where there's multiple masked men as smoke screens instead of just, hey, we're going to reveal every masked man. So it's similar but different.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're going to go with this now, though. Who does Rollins face? Because it seems like the Vision is getting set up. I'm not going to lie. With what happens later, I think the Vision is getting set up to face the Usos.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. That's where it seems that they're pushing.
So then who's facing Rollins?
That's a good question.
And the only thing I can point at, and I don't know, I don't think it was an angle at the time, but what if Braun Breaker got rehabbed soon enough? Because that's the only thing I can think of. If they think, and you know what? I think Breaker's injury was real. But if it wasn't, I wouldn't be shocked based on who's in this angle. I also think, though, they didn't specify Braun Breaker's injury for a reason, because it could have been a minor one, not a major one. All they said was he's out indefinitely with ABC injury. Okay. And you can report whatever you want, really, to the media. That's the beauty of wrestling. You can work the media.
Very true. Very
Braun
true.
Breaker may have had a small injury, but because it's a small injury, you just say it's a bigger injury and make people believe he's not going to come back. And then he does. And now you have Braun Breaker and Rollins. I don't think Bronson Reed's injury was a fake.
No,
I think that
no,
one
I
was
seen
very,
his hospital.
that one was
picture.
very real.
That dude
I
was
haven't
laid
seen
up.
a pick from Braun Breaker yet.
No, I haven't either.
And I think
So-
that's important.
I think I'm going to lean in with you on that one, and I think maybe his injury wasn't as bad as they perceived it,
Yeah.
and then they kind of seen where they were at and kind of pumped the brakes and maybe started rewriting some.
Yeah.
Let's get in the chat real quick. We got OG Tony coming in. He's saying, hello, guys.
What up, OG?
He thought Raw was very good. He
agree.
enjoyed it. We have Grunmiester. We already talked to Grun about Braun Breaker's injury. We have Connor Beals chiming in. What's up, Connor?
Connor?
How you doing? We're talking Monday Night Raw. And then we had Tony saying, I think Braun comes back. And I think that's where we're
That's
at.
the consensus.
And it would make sense. Here's what I loved about this whole segment was Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
At this day and age, still being so dedicated to this beautiful form of entertainment that he took a stomp, Kevin. He also took a chair to the back. Now I've seen Paul Heyman throughout the years. ECW was wild. They really didn't do too much to him physically in ECW.
He's taken more bumps in the last 2 years than he's taken in 20.
Dude. And
He took
in
that
his-
power bomb through the table by Solo Sikoa and them too.
yeah. So that's where I'm at. Okay. So from that, we had Paul was gone for a little bit when he took that power bomb. I think this is a way they write Paul Heyman off TV. And does that make when Braun Breaker comes back, because he's going to have Heyman.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind he'll have Heyman next to him.
No doubt.
It's going to make that even more impactful.
I agree. And we got 7 weeks until Mania. And Braun Breaker coming back already sells the match, right? So we don't really need him back until maybe 3 to 2 weeks out.
That's exactly where I was at.
So we can keep Heyman off TV and have the Vision, architect list essentially, or, wise man list, or however you want to phrase it. We can have them spinning their wheels for 5 weeks, just what's going to happen? Paul's hurt. What's going to happen? Paul's hurt. And then Seth Rollins gets played because Braun Breaker isn't hurt. And I think that will work. And I think that's the way they'll go. Even if it isn't Braun Breaker, Heyman will have a heater. And that's what it'll be. I do not think, I will kill this. I do not think it will be Lesnar. I do not think it will be Lesnar because I think that they've already done that at Mania. And I think they're propping up this Lesnar Open challenge too much to have it be Seth.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. Our chat is popping, Kevin.
Yeah, I love it.
So we got Anthony chiming in. Were they already slowly planning that Logan was going to be the leader of the Vision? Hold on, it jumped. Okay. To begin. Yeah. Okay. So did we touch on this a couple months ago?
I think a couple months ago, we talked about how Logan could be one of the figureheads of it.
Yeah.
I think how they were kind of putting it, I'm not saying the future of the Vision couldn't be this way, because I do think the future of the Vision could be Logan Paul centric, and I think it would work.
It would work very well.
Oh, and I think we did talk about that about 2-3 months ago before all the injuries happened.
Yeah.
Well, after Seth Rollins' injury, before Braun Breaker's. And we said Logan could be the figurehead of this. He gets enough heat, it would work. Based on how they were booking it, I would say they had Braun Breaker as the figurehead. Or maybe even more universally, Paul Heyman as the figurehead.
Oh, see, now that's interesting.
Because Paul Heyman was really the one talking, right? He had a
Yeah.
lot of his guys, but Paul Heyman was the guy in the group.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin, and this could be something that, is just perspective speaking, but to me, if I hear of a group called the Vision, and the main focus on that group is the guy giving the advice and pointing people in the right directions, which would be Paul Heyman, it's Paul Heyman's vision. It's not who's ever the world title holder or things like that. It's his vision of this group.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I think it's always kind of been shadow based around not just Seth Rollins, but also Paul Heyman.
Okay.
It was kind of both of their group, but I think we allowed ourselves to believe it was Seth Rollins' group because he was the in-ring guy, and we're not used to saying managers are the leader of groups. I think it works. I think he kind of was, though, because they were the ones that formed it after turning on Roman and Punk.
Yeah.
And as far as if Paul Heyman can work a babyface manager, I think he's already proven he can. I was watching back through 2002 pay-per-views. Brock Lesnar was a face for a little bit, and he was able to hype him up. Paul Heyman could do anything. That being said, I do think Paul Heyman's stride is heel. He is the perfect slimeball heel manager.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
he cemented that in ECW.
Yeah. And I'm not saying he can't work babyface because he definitely can. Definitely can. He actually proved that with the Solo Sikoa faction with Roman, too. Because he worked babyface manager when Roman came back.
True.
So he can do it, and he can do it to a high level. It's just, I feel he's almost, and this is wild because he's such a good manager no matter what, he's almost underutilized as a face manager because he's so good as a heel manager.
I'm there with you, man. I see it. I'm liking where we're at right now. There was a comment in the chat earlier about they like the new version of Seth.
Yeah, I think that was Connor. Shout out Connor.
Yeah, Connor. That I agree with you 100% on this. And he was in my backyard in Indianapolis. Wasn't there a Shield big moment that also happened at the Field House?
I think so. What was it though? Was it their
debut? Was it the debut?
I think it was the debut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, man, Indy has some great moments, and Seth for the past couple years has been a part of a lot of those great moments. And it's been shocking. He turned on the guy who was supposed to be his navigator through this muddy waters.
Yeah.
And like, I love it. I love everything about Seth and the way, to me, man, right now in this day and age, he's take the wrestling out of it and just gimmick alone, and the way he presents himself when the camera's on him as Seth Rollins is perfect. It's top level wrestler.
Yeah.
I can say millions of things about that.
I could say millions of good things about Seth Rollins and how he does it. And actually, Anthony has an interesting question here. Is Seth like Roman, where it's just him being himself instead of a babyface or a bad guy? That is, speaking as a wrestler, that is what every wrestler's goal is to be. Is you just turn on a different little bit of yourself to be babyface or heel, but it's the same essential person. Think Chris Jericho. It's just Chris Jericho. He just does different iterations of Chris Jericho. Think The Rock. It's just different iterations of The Rock. You lean into more of the cocky personality if he's a heel. And, he still has the cocky personality as a face, but he's with the people against someone you hate. And Seth does that really famously because he'll come out in the goofiest fucking outfits as a face or a heel. And you're getting behind him as a face, and you're starting to try and hate him as a heel.
Yep.
So he does do that, Anthony, and he does it very well. I think he's been hurt as a heel by his theme music. I'd say that's the only thing that was painful, because sometimes when you have a theme music that's so catchy and you keep it as a heel, the people like you're over because of the theme music, because it's the first thing people hear when you come out.
Exactly. I mean, some people, that's their first and only time to get there and chant that song with
Yeah.
the rest of everybody. So I see where you're coming from on that. So moving forward in Raw, Jimmy Uso decided to make a statement and take out the rest of the Vision.
Yep.
Kevin, give me your thoughts on this whole backstage thing, including LA Knight driving,
the ambulance
out.
way. I liked it. I thought it was a way to get kind of everyone in who's the Vision has made enemies with.
Very true.
And we might be going towards an Usos versus the Vision for the tag titles at Mania, and I think that would work to get Logan Paul and Theory a match. And don't be shocked if they win the tag titles from the Usos. Don't be shocked. Man, it was cool to hear Big Jim's music. We don't get to hear his music.
No, we don't.
I like his music. It's a banger.
Dude, Big Jim's up. I love Big Jim.
I like Jimmy.
I wish we seen more Jimmy Uso out there doing his thing, because I think he is one of the. They're both entertaining.
Yeah.
But for me, he's got that more street, like just average dude aura to him. And I love it. I love it.
Something a little bit different from their work too, because I just haven't seen Jimmy like do singles things in a while. So I got to compare a little bit of the mannerisms and stuff when it came to this. Jimmy and Jay differ in that Jay is very fast. So sometimes the in-betweens in the match, they can get a little bit more gritty and a bit more like out of place. Jimmy is the opposite. He works fast to an extent, but he also works slow to an extent. Yeah. He doesn't just go. He doesn't try and do a bunch of the things. He tries to do as much as he needs to. Yeah. And I appreciate that about Jimmy, because that's kind of the work I like to see. And I'll get to that more in the Gunther match. But I like Jimmy a lot. And I actually really like him as a singles guy. That being said, they're one of the most prolific tag teams. So like the money is where the money is. And you keep them as a tag team, and let's go towards a Vision Usos match, man. Let's see an actual tag title defense on a PLE for the first time in a year and a half or whatever it is. I'm
for it. I'm for that, man. Yeah, I like the way Jimmy works too, because it reminds me of like guys like, and I'm not saying to their level, but I'm saying their ability to slow down a match and to make it work for them is like Arn Anderson, Mr. Perfect, guys like that, because they Mr. Perfect was able to ring wrestle the shit out of you and then pop up on the top rope and hit you with a big splash or something out of nowhere, and you wouldn't expect it. Arn Anderson was mostly technician, beat you down and make you want to give up.
You know what? I'll give two Attitude Era comparisons for both of them. Jay Uso works more Hardys. Faster pace, not as clean, jumps around. Jimmy works more Dudleys. Grittier, punch you in the face. Let's do that.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. That's a great comparison. We got another question in the chat by Anthony.
Hit it.
Let's hit this one. He says, guys, is there an Attitude Era segment or Ruthless Aggression segment that
is there a segment that you would compare that ambulance segment to from the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era? Didn't Taker drive off in an ambulance with somebody?
It was either an ambulance or a limo.
It was both. He's done both.
Yeah. So that would be one. I believe Austin's done it.
Austin's definitely done it. I don't know a specific segment though. That's the problem, because I think they've run it a couple times, but it isn't one of those segments that becomes so memorable that it stands the test of time for the most part, except for one, I would say. And that's when Taker had the limo, and it was, I think it was Teddy Long in the back, and Taker just like brings down the shade. He's like, want to go for a ride? And Teddy's like, ah!
Yeah, that one will always.
And that was sold not because of Taker's thing, because that would have been, it would have been whatever. Teddy's face is grained into my soul.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And fighting's one. I believe Stone Cold did it to McMahon. So it's been done. But again, I mean, years from
It's a
now,
segment that works.
we're still going to be talking about it. I would say it's up there with one of the tops. I mean, honestly, I remember Austin turning around and looking when McMahon was back there and he just fucking gunned it. That's imprinted in my head. Just because the amount of hatred that was in his face,
Yeah.
but he knew he had McMahon's life in his hands,
Mhm.
so it didn't matter. I love it. Yeah, fighting's one. You're right. Taker did it to Stone Cold.
I can see the Samoan Gangsters. Yeah, I did see that. The Samoan Gangsters from ECW in
Yeah.
Jimmy and Jay. I see it a bit.
Yeah, they're Jimmy and Jay are unique together, and
Mhm.
they are very unique separate.
Yeah.
And I just hope this produces some more Jimmy moments for us because I do enjoy what he does in the ring. All right, Kevin. So where did we go after this backstage shenanigans with LA Knight driving off in an ambulance?
Man, you know what? I'm struggling to remember where we went next. Was it AJ Lee that came out next?
That's where I
I
thought
think
we
it was
went.
AJ Lee next. So AJ Lee came out and she talked about, and I appreciated this because I think one of the biggest critiques that the household has been, hey, where's AJ Lee? Where
Very
is
true.
AJ Lee? What's going to happen with AJ Lee? Because we've been kind of waiting for it since WrestlePalooza. We've had some spark ups here or there. We've had some flare ups. And then finally, leading into Elimination Chamber, we had an actual match hype and more appearances. Cool. So she comes out and she says, now that I am this, I will be a fighting champion. I really want this now to go the way of something like the US Open Challenge, where a new woman comes out every week and challenges AJ Lee. And I don't care if it lasts 1 week. I don't care if it lasts 4 weeks leading to Mania. I don't care if it lasts in Mania. Like, so she just does it at Mania.
Yeah.
I like this because now you have a bunch of women in the back who could potentially get a shot at some stardom with a person who has some value to their name. And like, if a Natty comes out next week, that's perfect. I know Natty already has a good name, but like, she's got a good gimmick that she needs to get over. And she doesn't need to win because Maxine can cost her that because of what's going on with that. You can have
100%.
Raquel come out and then something happens that goes wrong there with Liv and Roxanne or whatever. There's so many different things that you can do. And throughout the night, they talk to different women getting it over. They're like, oh, AJ Lee's offering shots. You should take her up on that. It's happened to Bayley. It happened to Lyra. It happened to Raquel. Don't be shocked if the next couple weeks, those are the people facing AJ Lee. And we get 15-minute matches. And AJ Lee needed to appear more coming in. And we didn't just need promos. We need matches. And honestly, after watching Elimination Chamber, she didn't do bad. But she needs matches too if she's going to wrestle at Mania.
Yeah.
Because very much, and I mentioned this at the Elimination Chamber review show, and I said this to Annie as we watched the match. There were a couple times I looked at her and the camera was on her and she looked like a scared deer. And that's okay if you can shake it off, but it didn't seem like she shook it off that well in the first match. So let's get her in there. Let's work with some other people. Let's work lower stakes on Raw than it is a PLE. Then when you get to Mania, she'll be ready to put on that banger match that people have been waiting for.
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly why I wanted her 2 weeks before the Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted her in the ring doing at least, because to me, I feel that once she has those couple weeks consecutively where she's doing a match and she's getting pushed further and further to her limit, we're going to see more of the training that has said to have taken place with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you made a fair point in our chat too, because you said it, like you were like, I'm giving her grace because this is like her first official, like, you're back in rotation.
Yeah.
And it's at a big event. Like, I mean, say what you want about Elimination Chamber, but it is something people look forward to every year.
Mm-hmm.
And she did look like a deer in the headlights in some of those moments, but then there were some moments of greatness.
Yep.
And you could understand where they're going. I wanted a couple more matches, because then you've made the fan in me believe that she beat the man that way. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm invested. Now I'm buying it. Now I'm setting in the promo, because even in the promo, I think she was a little shaky in spots. And you said, that's her first like promo back, in front of the crowd. And it's like a bike. It's going to take her a minute, maybe a couple times on the mic, but I would say, in credit to her, towards the end, the last, I would say probably 30-40 seconds, she brought it all back around. She took control of the moment, and she pushed forward with the AJ Lee persona.
Yep. And it looks like OG Tony mentioned this, so we'll see this, because I hadn't actually seen this announcement. 6-pack challenge for the number one contendership next week. And it is, I just found the graphic. It's Lyra, Bailey, Io, Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, and Ivy Nile. So I think Ivy's in there to eat the pin, probably. And that's okay.
No.
She needs more reps. Always needs more reps.
Ivy Nile, she's top of the chain, man. What are you talking
she's going
about?
straight to the main event.
She's fucking, she's number one.
But so what I would love to see out of this is you get a number one contendership, but we have 7 weeks until Mania. I don't want some long build where they're doing 5 weeks with each other on promos.
No.
I want this to be a number one contender match, and then the next week on Raw, I want that title defended. Then, whoever you're going to have her face at Mania, you can start setting that up afterwards. Or you could have another defense in between. I think you have enough time. And I think you're severely underutilizing AJ, and you're almost doing a disservice to AJ not to put her in the ring before Mania, because she's going to have a match at Mania.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to. She's a big enough name to do it. So put her in another ring, or put her in the ring, and let her go on Raw. 7 to 12 minute bell-to-bell match. Let's do that, and then let's go forward with it to Mania. I like a 6-pack challenge. I like number one contendership matches. Make it feel important, like people got to earn it. But yeah, let's get her in a match before that. And I think Roxanne, because a lot of people in the chat are saying Roxanne would be a perfect AJ Lee opponent at Mania. Perfect.
I think so too. Now, before we go to the next segment, let me ask you and the household out there. They seem to be implanting AJ into the Asuka story.
And I don't think Asuka would be a bad opponent either, especially the in-between opponent.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Asuka's going to give her a match. Asuka's going to be able to control most of it, lead the match and things like that, that benefit AJ Lee.
Yep.
But yeah, it just seemed like they inserted AJ into the Asuka drama. And I don't know if you want to do that, because Asuka, she's not someone to just, maybe question or things like that.
Yeah. And I think an interesting point there, thinking that AJ Lee will be here until SummerSlam. I'm unconvinced that AJ Lee will be here until SummerSlam, just based on the schedule that she's worked so far. Doesn't mean that you're wrong. It doesn't mean that you're wrong. But just based on how the schedule has worked since WrestlePalooza, it seems like she's in and out, in and out. So giving her a shorter title run makes more sense. I don't know if she'll hold it until SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that she won't face Roxanne at SummerSlam, but I think Roxanne might win it before that, and then they do the SummerSlam as a rematch. That would make more sense to me. Just based on what I've seen. Again, that doesn't mean I'm correct, because I don't know what her contract looks like, and I never fucking will.
Yeah. And Tony, we know it's going to be Io Asuka. We get that. But
yeah.
They
to
definitely
get there, we can do something different.
They definitely said, AJ, we need you to go over there and talk shit while Asuka walks away. And that's what she did. And from what I've seen of Asuka, you don't fucking disrespect her in any light whatsoever.
Yeah.
All right. So after the AJ, is that when we jumped into Gunther?
I think so. Well, you know what? Even if we didn't, we're going to jump into Gunther
Let's
because
jump
I want to
into
talk about Gunther, and I want to
Let's
talk about
it.
how absolutely majestic this man is at working with smaller guys. He is, without a doubt and without hyperbole, the best big guy versus small guy wrestler in the entirety of the WWE/wrestling industry today.
Agreed.
That is not a hyperbole.
No.
I cannot point at another big guy who knows how to still work as a big guy, but give the smaller guys everything to make them look like they're in danger. And not the small guy in danger, the big guy in danger.
Yep.
But you're not having the small guy yeet you around a ring. You're just having him come at you. And yeah, he's a rat bastard.
He is
and I
a
love
rat
him for it.
bastard.
Such an asshole. And we'll get to the finish here because he's a dick for that too. But what up, Landon? He's just so masterful at making you believe that A, a smaller guy is going to beat him, and B, making a smaller guy look credible. I will die on this hill.
Legs.
I will die on this hill. Dragon Lee is more over in the 1 month he started working with Gunther than he has gotten over in the last 2 years of his booking.
You ain't fucking lying on that one. I mean, you going back to your very first point about Gunther in this whole thing with how the way he can work with a smaller guy. The first 30 seconds of this match made me believe Dragon Lee could win this because he came right out with all that fire and Gunther had no answer for it there for a second. It was fantastic. I enjoyed this match.
Good. He's so good. He's good at working with anybody. He is. I was talking to Annie about this. I think I leaned over to her. No, I looked her straight in the face on the couch and I go, Gunther is my favorite wrestler in the WWE right now, bar none. I can't. There isn't a better one for me. There just isn't because he can do everything.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, Kevin. I don't try to make it seem like I wasn't paying attention. I was.
Sure, I know.
But our chat's
blowing up.
It's blowing up, and they have been discussing Oba. And now the discussion has come up, and they want to give us a comparison between Oba and Gunther and the way they work with smaller guys.
Okay, all right. Now I got to put on my analytic goggles for this one. Okay. Oba's good at that, but he isn't as masterful as Gunther yet. Gunther has had a lot more time in this wrestling business and a lot of the time in the wrestling industry to perfect how he works and puts together the matches. Oba gives them a lot at the end, but doesn't give them as much in the middle to make it seem like he's in danger. It's not a bad thing. It's just difference in how they work. And given time, I do think because Oba and Gunther went to the school of Brock Lesnar and selling I'm in danger.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they both got that from. I guarantee you they got it from studying Lesnar when he got, raffle stomped into the ground by 3 finishers. And they said, how can we elongate this? And watching old Andre the Giant tapes where Andre was in danger. You watch these older guys to apply it yourself. And
I just love that statement.
Yeah, I love that. That's so good.
One, you get highlighted. You are the
Caribbean jerk of wings. But Oba, I think, is still young in the business.
Exactly.
He's still a young wrestler. I agree that he's good at it for what his level is. And he may even be better than Gunther when it comes later. But right now, it's Gunther. Yeah. It's Gunther's time with that, and it's Gunther who's really good at getting you to believe these smaller guys are a danger to him. Whereas I think Oba, sometimes there's still that thing in your head of like, well, Oba's just going to kill him anyway. Whereas Gunther, you have that in your head, but then he makes you believe that it might not be a thing for a second.
Yeah. And I think with Oba specifically, because he hasn't been on the main roster so much, the mainstream fans don't know that side of him. Like if you watch back in NXT, there were some matches where some of the guys got him rocked and got him on the ropes, and they never overcame, but they got him to that point. Oba, for right now, he is just the monster, and nobody can take down the monster right now. And Gunther is now in that Bruce Wayne era, in which the motherfucker's Batman, but when he's not in that bat suit, you could fuck him up.
Yeah.
And I like that. Gunther, chef's kiss to what he's doing. Oba Femi, though, let me tell you, brother, that dude he's going to have his own mountain carved of him. He's going to be his own Rushmore, because he just, every week when I see him in the ring, there's just something more appealing about him, and he brings another little bit of what we're going to witness when he's just full blown, just running house. So I'm looking forward to that. I think he's going to be great. Gunther, perfectly seasoned wing. That's all we got to say about that one.
Perfectly smoked rib as another one.
No, I like that one too.
We'll get to that CM Punk statement.
Yes, we will get there.
We got one thing in between that we got to hit, because I just want to make sure we don't run out of time. But Oba, that is actually the key of what I'm saying, OG Tony. You summed it up in one sentence. Gunther is putting together these matches still. Like, it's him. Maybe with the help of a slight agent, but like, he's done it so many times that it's not just an agent that helps him.
Yeah.
Oba is still getting help from the agents, and that's okay. That's where he is. That's how long he has in the business. He doesn't have as much of those things. And I think given time, Oba will be a leader in the back, and he will be a leader in the ring, and it's going to be so amazing to witness. But man, Manhausen, did we have some segments next? Do you want to talk about that promo in the back? I want to hear your thoughts on the promo in the back, voice.
Well, Danhausen is definitely somebody I've wanted in WWE for a few years now. And it was exactly what I expected with him. Like, I love when we get to see the start of these comical type characters being able to play into the playground with the tough guys and everybody trying to make a statement. And Danhausen's the perfect guy for that, much like Mick Foley was when he was becoming GM, and he was, doing silly things to get over with. Even in TNA, he was just trying to have fun. And that's what I love about Danhausen. He brings a comical aspect to it. I see he got his picture with Triple H and pointing. So that's one demand he got. The blimp,
here we come.
Do not be shocked if we see a blimp in Vegas with Danhausen's face on it going over. I mean, don't be shocked, because it could happen, and it more than likely will happen. What I really appreciate, though, is that when we talked last week, you shared with us that you've shared car rides with him and things like that throughout your years and his years. But to know that guy sat next to my friend who was doing the same dream, and now he is, even though in this character he has always said he is going to WWE, they have a place for him, they're just waiting, all these things, it's finally come true. And it makes me smile in a sense, because no matter what your take is on things, what have you, Danhausen has always been able to just entertain, whether it's opening a box, whether it's giving someone a curse, or whether it's demanding human monies. The dude is entertainment. And I love that. And he's knowledged. He knows wrestling. He's no joke when it comes to wrestling.
He very much knows what his persona is, and what it's good at and what it isn't good at. So when it comes to Danhausen and everything like that, and actually I'll answer this question while I'm doing it from Anthony. Are you surprised that WWE didn't change the character to fit how they wanted to present him? Or was he already child-friendly enough and didn't need to be adjusted before debut? He is already child-friendly enough. I think the human teeth will probably gross out children, but I think that that's kind of part of the charm too, because
Don't curse.
at the beginning of it, I think children will think, oh, that's gross. But then don't be shocked if 3 to 4 months later, they have their own jar of teeth in their
Yep.
room.
Yep.
And they're doing their own thing, because Danhausen is such a personality. And I think I said this on Sunday too. The more you put Danhausen in the ring, the more you expose his character. You don't want him to do wrestling matches. So I saw a lot of chatter online, and, fake or not, or, whatever, because we never know with bots or anything. They said, he's so small, how could he be in the ring with somebody else? He's not. Yeah. He's not going to be in the ring with other people. And if he is, don't be shocked if it's a 3-minute squash.
Yeah.
Danhausen can eat loss after loss after loss, and all he has to do afterwards is stand up and say, "You are cursed," and disappear. And that's it.
And that's
the
all
guy
we need
got to win, but at what cost? Because now Danhausen cursed him. And after today, which we'll get into as well, the curse works.
The curse does work. Wow, Kevin, we got a treat. Fighting's one. I see that you said I have never understood Danhausen.
And that's fair too.
Yeah, that's very fair, because I don't think you got a great representation of Danhausen.
He didn't get a good
AEW.
representation in AEW.
I would say if you wanna dive deeper into him, go to his YouTube channel and check out his unboxing. If he's talking Simpsons, you're gonna die laughing.
Yeah, he loves the Simpsons. Oh my God,
absolutely loves the Simpsons, and he's one of those few guys I will sit and actually watch him open up toys.
Yeah,
I don't usually do that, but with Danhausen, I will.
There's another video where he tries Zoa energy drink, The Rock's energy drink, for the first time on his channel, and he becomes The Rock. Yeah. And that's a good video too.
Anthony, understand where you're coming from, but if you give us a chance, I can almost guarantee you in a couple months you'll be a fan of Danhausen. So just stick with us and follow how we cover him and things like that.
And realistically, sometimes characters aren't for you too, and that's okay. There's plenty of workers that the WWE have that I respect, but they're just not for me. And I don't publicly come out with them because I don't like to badmouth people just because of my own, whatever and frivolities of it. But there was a time where I was watching wrestling and I really hated comedic characters, really hated it, because I thought it took away from the seriousness of wrestling, until a point where I looked at it and I said, oh, yeah, but they are entertaining. If I can open myself up to that entertainment, I can at least get through these segments and go, I see what they're doing. I see what you did there, even if it's not for me. And I think we as people get so far into the is it working or is it not, for me specifically, that sometimes we lose out on what they're going for too. And just knowing that wrestling isn't necessarily this huge buffet, but it's at least a 5-course meal.
I got you. I did read that into a little mistake, but here's my thing. I think with Danhausen though, they've done enough research that they're going to understand where they can put him, and we're going to have. I think he'll be an R-Truth entity.
I think also too, and I don't want to stick on it too much longer because we got 2 very important segments to cover still. Yeah. I think also we're thinking weekly, he's going to show up every single week on TV. I don't think he actually is. I think they're going to ration him a little bit. Now, they might not ration him in the first month, but I bet they ration him afterwards, because if you overexpose a comedic character, the joke loses its punchline.
True.
And that's true no matter who it is. That was true for R-Truth for a while, even though his masterful work was there. They showed him every single week doing a 24/7 championship. And for 2 to 3 months, it was gold. And then after that, we all went, oh, 24/7 championship. Cool. If you overexpose someone, it happens to anybody.
Yeah. And it does happen. So I think I think they'll find a fair balance, especially after Mania.
I'm hopeful they do, because there is a way and there is a timeline where Anthony is right.
Yeah,
And
100
that's if
true.
they overexpose him, for sure. And people will get tired of the joke and tired of the character. And that's just true no matter what. And I hope they don't do that, Anthony. I truly, because I like Danhausen. I like his
I do
character
too.
and I like the bits.
All right, so we will put a pin in Danhausen for a moment and jump forward. So, Kevin, what do you want to talk about?
Well, real quick before we get completely off Danhausen, his curse worked. We got a new IC champion.
We did get a new one. The curse does succeed, and Penta becomes the new Intercontinental Champion over Dominic Mysterio in a good match.
I thought it was good.
At this point, it's like a staple match when you see these two names that we just witnessed. They put on great matches. There's a lot of back and forth. And then we got the ultimate surprise. And now Penta has gotten his first WWE title in Indianapolis. So
not only that, but there is a case to say that Finn Balor was part of causing that, which means we might get a Dom Finn Balor with JD McDonough playing mommy and daddy are getting a divorce in the middle.
I kind of like it though, because I think that'll give us more JD.
I
And
do.
I like
it a
JD.
lot.
I think he's a hidden gem.
And I think with Penta going into Mania as the champ, I think we got a lot. I think we have a lot going for there. And I think we might get Dominic face in AAA simply because of who he's working with, which is Vikingo. Now, I don't know if that'll happen on main roster until after he's done with Finn, because I think they have to break up Judgment Day to some extent. But I think Dom might be headed towards a face turn at some point, because I think there's a chance that Liv does too after she wins the title, which is my prediction for Mania.
That's a good prediction.
Yeah, I don't, but and this isn't to discredit Penta's win. I just don't know where it's going to go, but I do know where this main event segment is going to go. So I know we have very little time, and boy, we have a lot to talk about when it comes to this main event promo.
Yes, we've had the chat going off about it.
As well it should, because of that ending line. And I saw one earlier, and we don't need to dig through everything, but it was something along the line of didn't like what Punk said about Roman's dad.
Yes.
And Punk came out and he was all fire, and Roman was all fire. And they I've seen this happen with guys. In the back, they probably looked at each other and said, please don't be offended by anything I say out there. We're selling a match. And then they just went out and did it. I would be shocked if all of that was scripted. And I bet some of it was true. Not all of it. It was probably mostly hyperbolic, but I bet some of it was true. In the sense of maybe Roman did hate Punk for a while. Maybe Punk did think he was irrelevant for a while, or think Roman was riding his coattails for a while. There's always nuggets of truth in some of these things that make sense.
True.
And that doesn't mean that all of it is true, but it means that enough of it is that you believe it. And boy, this and the promo that they had in the first place have completely and utterly sold me on their WrestleMania main event. And they haven't even punched each other yet. It was a masterful promo. It got my heart racing, and that hasn't happened in a long time when it comes to this kind of thing, like a promo specifically. I've had my heart racing with matches and like what's going to happen and like the falses and like getting excited, not for promos. It doesn't happen for promos. This one did. And I just can't say enough good about this promo from every line in it.
I agree with you. These two men, they have that knowledge in which they can yank emotion out of the viewing audience. And in this one, you kind of have to, I go back and I think, because even though I'm going to bring him back up. Danhausen. I heard a lot of people say Indie Darling, things like that. But I'm old enough, kids, to remember when CM Punk came to WWE. And a lot of people I knew were saying that about CM Punk. And they were saying he's just a flash in a pan because he does all this extreme stuff. He does all this. He's blah, blah, blah. And I would, back then I was like, man, you guys don't know. You obviously haven't been watching his stuff, who he's doing matches with and how he's cutting promos. So I was excited for him, much like I am for Danhausen. I don't find him an indie darling. I find him an entity on his own. But when you step into the circle of being able to cut promos of that caliber to a guy like Roman Reigns, and not even to even sense, there was no moment in that where I sensed CM Punk feared Roman Reigns one bit. And I think that's very masterful, because there's other people who have doubted themselves in front of Roman.
Yeah.
They've questioned themselves. They've done all this stuff. Not Punk. And in reality, Punk's no spring chicken, nor is Roman. But Punk is a way older chicken than Roman.
Yeah.
Especially body-wise when it comes to taking bumps. But that's not what this whole thing is going to be about. This whole thing's going to be about the 7 weeks that they're going to get us on the edge of our seats every single time they cut a promo.
Yeah.
To the moment the bell rings.
Yep.
And I am here for it. Like I said at the top of the show, it's WrestleMania season, and that promo was the definite kickoff of it.
That was the definition of a Mania build promo.
Yes.
And
100%.
they did everything to sell that match, and they did it so masterfully. It's hard. It's hard even for me as a wrestler and a worker to dissect everything that they did, because they did so much in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And man, Roman is this era's John Cena in the sense of, if you don't step up with rifle bullets in that promo, you're going to get shot down. Because Roman did it to Bronson Reed. He did it to a couple other people when they were feuding with him. And then Roman just ate him alive on the mic. But you can't eat CM Punk alive on the mic, because he's not going to allow it. And that's what you need as a worker. This isn't, I understand that a lot of people feel like the scripted nature of things sometimes hinder the ability of people. This was bullet pointed probably, but it was not scripted.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
Punk's pullback to Roman, where he pulled him back, probably wasn't in some script. It was probably, this is the moment of what I would do, and why would I let him walk off after he punked me?
Yeah. Dude, man, it was so good.
I'm going to have to watch it back probably 3 or 4 times to see everything that happened in the promo and all the split second things. They got a Jericho reference in.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that too. I heard that and I was like,
you just made the list.
Yeah. It's like,
I think there was another reference in there by Punk too. I forget the reference that he got in.
Dude, he's so good at stuff like that.
He really is. But man, like, I didn't think Roman winning the Rumble was a good call when it happened. And now I'm looking back in hindsight and saying, why did I even question this?
Yeah. No, and I can understand that, especially with what we witnessed, even with that last line. And I understand that, it touched a lot of people in a completely negative way, in which they were like, why?
And that's fine to feel that way too.
Exactly, because this is CM Punk. He's trying to get into the headspace of Roman Reigns. Because yes, and Anthony, I see what you're saying with the difference between CM Punk and Danhausen, but you're misinterpreting what I was saying. I was saying the exact same thing, in which people were saying that about Punk, and I knew his greatness in the ring and what he could bring. Anyways, CM Punk, that's his golden ticket. That's the way he gets into the chocolate factory when he's going up against a behemoth, a tribal chief like Roman Reigns. You have to get into his head first.
Mhm.
And once you're in there, now you can pick him apart in the ring. And I personally, I thought it was beautiful.
It was
Thought it was
great.
great. It's definitely got me amped up for WrestleMania. Again, I was with you. I didn't think the Roman was the best choice, but now
I think
I
we
can't
all
see
pretty much
anything else.
said that, like
Yeah.
in the chat, in the messages, on the house parties, we were all like, I guess we're here with Roman. I guess they're playing it safe. No, they had a plan. And
Yeah.
yes, this is technically a safer match than, throwing the Rumble to somebody else. But at the same time, this is a Mania match. This is Austin winning the Rumble to go face The Rock levels
Yes.
of fucking Mania matches. This is Limp Bizkit's My Way over a video package levels levels of
burnt in my
Mania.
brain.
The best video
Anytime I
package
hear
to have
that
ever
song.
existed, and I will die on
is.
that. Hey, the second, you know what the second overall is? Always Saliva, Survivor Series 2002. I will die on that hill too.
Really? I'll have to go back and
Go back and
rewatch
watch
that
it. Go back and watch it. Survivor Series when Shawn Michaels won the first Elimination Chamber. It's the Elimination Chamber package.
Okay. And I can completely see what you're saying there. But here's the thing. Did Roman stop CM Punk from walking away from him when that happened? After he
Yeah.
said it? No. Roman
I
had
think
to
Roman
sit
was
there,
the one that ended up rattled, not Punk.
and then he shook his head a little bit and just stared, and then Punk walked past. So if we're going to be like break it down into reality, no, the real Roman Reigns, I don't think he really shook him on that. But
Right.
the character, he definitely they made sure, because they got right up into Roman's face as soon as he said it and he walked past. So respectfully disagree, but that's why we have this show. And that's why we've been
That's why we
highlighting
got
you
the
most.
chat. That's why the chat's so hot, baby. We just want to have discussion.
Why you, Anthony, have been popping up the most, because we respect what you're saying and we enjoy the conversation. So thank you for being here all episode long with us. Man.
We got so excited about the episode, we ran over, brother.
Dude, we did. And we got to cut the household off, let them go home, let them do what they're doing.
You got to leave them wanting something, boys.
We got to leave you guys wanting something. That's why we put pins everywhere we go. And but Kevin, why don't you let them know where they could possibly seek you out and find what you're doing or anything you're involved in, my friend?
Well, you can always follow me on Kevin Kalloway on Facebook and Kalloway Kevin on Instagram. I don't know if I'll have too many things popping up here, but there's going to be some things in the works. I'm in some talks. I'm in some meetings. I'm in some things. But of course, you can catch me at Squared Circle Expo, which I'm sure our lovely host, The Voice, will talk about a little bit more. But you can catch me there, and you can ask me some questions, give me a high five, pay me $5, and I'll chop you in the chest.
I like it. I like it. Yes. We are doing the Squared Circle Expo. It's going to be an amazing time. The household's already got the home base set up, courtesy of our boss house. And let me tell you, we've seen some pictures. It's a nice place. We're going to get a lot of things done, a lot of content made for you guys. We're also... House has got the banners. He's got all the stuff ready to go. When you guys see the In Your House table, please stop in and get a picture with one of us or all of us, and let everybody know that you are in your house. All right. So fans, if you enjoyed what we did here, guess what? Tomorrow night is, yeah, that's right. It's extreme. It's tables. It's fire. It's barbed wire. It's the ECW watch along with me and House, and we are watching, we're in the rivalry series. So what rivalry are we going to go into? Well, you know what, fans, we did it last week, so we'll do it this week. We will give you the rivalry before everybody else. Shh, or tell everybody. We don't care. We are going to dive into Justin Credible and Tommy Dreamer. So we're going to jump into one of the hardest cane swinging son of a guns to ever do it back then. Today, he does not swing too many canes. So, anyways, we're going to jump into that. Tommy Dreamer, one of my favorites. Just Incredible, one of my favorites. And we're going to get into it. So it's the rivalry between Tommy Dreamer and Just Incredible. So fans, that is 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Outside of that, there is the Dynamite Yeah show. It is AEW Dynamite recap with me, House, and OG Tony, and we have some fun. We have a lot of fun. We watch AEW. We talk about it. We give you our breakdown. So, Anthony, if you're an AEW fan, why don't you stop in on Thursday at 6 p.m. and join us for some of that discussion so we can talk Dynamite, because we enjoyed you here, man. So bring some of that energy to the other shows. Fans, it's the Sunday house party. That's our last show of the week, and you can catch anybody who's part of the household in there talking. We've had Bryce York. We've had Kevin Kalloway. We've had so many people. Jones was there a couple times. So come join us on a Sunday. That's usually around 1 p.m. and we have a blast there. That's where we talk all things wrestling from all promotions, and we do exactly what you've seen in the chat. So fans, for me, for Kevin, and for our boss House, we will catch you on the next one. And until then, bye.